Years, we've tried to highlight amazing people, people that might be your neighbors, people that do good things in their communities to prove that each of us can literally change the world that we live in. This particular season, we call these types of stories Good People, Good Works. So we have another part of that series today. After working in the juvenile justice system, John Gordon Jr. wanted to inspire kids, so he founded the BoysGrow farm in Kansas City. And they're not growing just produce. They're growing future farmers, possibly chefs or independent business owners. You have to check him out in action. Please welcome John Gordon Jr. Welcome. I'm so proud of you. Glad to know you. Sit on down.
All right.
I don't even know where to begin. I have so much to say to you. Congratulations on creating this program. There isn't any part of what you said that I don't know from personal experience is true. When you make a connection for kids where their food comes from and what it's like to put your hands in soil or do a good day's work, it really does change a human being.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it should be, everyone should have that opportunity in life. You know, whether they're at risk or not, we always had BOCES when I was in school. You know, vocational training.
Oh, okay.
The same thing where you get the kids can make their choice of 3 different paths. Mm-hmm. We used to have that as part of public education. So can you talk to me about what it means for the young men that you work with as you see that process happening for them and all those fires igniting?
Yeah, I mean, you know, when they come in, they do get paid for their efforts. So they come in as a win because we interview them, so they get the job. And then the first day we kind of throw them into the mix. So they start with the win, and then they quickly realize that how much they don't know. So then they go to a failure. You know, we're like, all right, you're on the culinary team. It's 9 o'clock, and we gotta serve 60 lunches by noon. You know, and then that's their first year. And then by their second year, they're expected to kind of be mentors and leaders within the culinary team.
Oh, that's great.
So they have that full cycle of having a success, having a failure, learning that you're human, and then hopefully
and
rising above.
And then leading the next.
And then leading the next class. Yep.
And then leading the next. What specifically were you doing in the juvenile justice system before you came to this? And are you still a part of that system too, or is this full time for you now? Because it seems like this program is really successful.
Yeah, it's full time.
Yeah.
It's full time now. Yeah, I worked with juvenile court kids, foster kids.
Gotcha.
So the specific kid that really kind of sparked the interest in this program was a kid. He was 14 years old, foster kid, bounced around. At that point, was definitely kind of running with the wrong crowd, and got shipped off to a small farm, like we heard the video. And at that point, it kind of something just resonated with having the structure and the discipline and the really the expectations to actually be a part of something like that. So he had his own goat. He had his own goat, his own garden plot.
I love it. So, and I love that you talked so much about that, about the connection once they start communicating with each other and learning not only life skills, but human skills. The whole world now is all about swiping or, who likes who and whatever. It's so great to see you're building actual communities for these young men.
Yeah. Oh,
Let's speak to that.
Yeah. Well, there's I don't know what to call it, but there's a new thing around the corner. It's our teenagers just sitting on couches too much, and then also kind of not being able to look you in the eye sometimes.
That's right.
So there's a lot to do inside now.
Did you hear how many people were just like, yeah?
But there's a lot to do inside nowadays.
Yeah.
When we were coming up, there wasn't that much. So we were outside. So
no, we would get kicked out of my house.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff to do inside. But the opportunity of this program is to get outside. And the kids that do come in the program, not all of them, but there's a fair amount of teenagers now that suffer from shyness.
Yeah.
Not in a kind of an acute kind of way, but more of a where it's debilitating in a way.
Right.
And in the program, we don't really put up with it. So if you think you're going to hide behind a shovel for 2 years, that's not going to happen. So the young men that come into our program, the first thing we teach them is a handshake. So that's the first thing you learn is a handshake.
Eye contact.
We had to do like an elbow for a year or two, but then after that, we really get to focus on some of the soft skills that these kids get to learn. So teamwork, discipline, showing up to work on time. A variety of things that will set them up for their next job, whether it's in agriculture, culinary, construction, or whatever it is. Real skills they can learn in real time, and in essence, that is applied learning, is doing it in real time. So
I love it. How is your program funded?
We're a 501c3, so foundations and grants. We do have a lot of fundraisers on the farm. So we do a spotlight dinner series. We do a date night dinner series. So we built an event space last year.
Oh, that's so cool! I think I got to make a pilgrimage with John.
Yeah. We have a kitchen, so there's cooking to be done.
And I'm very good at teaching cooking classes. I teach them from Ukraine to New York City.
Yep.
So I wanted to let you know that our friends at Palm Wonderful, and I do think that Palm is wonderful. John uses palm juice and cocktail making and all of that. I eat tons of pomegranate. But anyway, they are wonderful because they're giving you $10,000. Is that cool?
That's great. Thank you.
That buys a fair amount of seed, right?
Yes, it does. Yes,
Buys a fair amount of seed and dirt where I come from, in upstate New York. So, hey, John, thank you so much.
Thank
we
you.
admire you. We
Thank
admire
you.
you. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Grab a healthy snack, and we'll be right back, guys.